Second Coming Issue 1 has finally been published after moving to Ahoy Comics from DC thanks to the outcry over the content of the book. So what exactly has everybody angry? Let's go in and find out. Second Coming's premise is a pretty simple one. A superhero and Jesus Christ share an apartment. This happens after God, working away on the world, becomes less interested in his creation after Adam and Eve eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. God messes up, however, by casting them out and ordering them to become parents as punishment, which dicks up the world something fierce as the population soon grows, and instead of using their incredible brains for art and stories and being creative, they just decide to turn to violence and kill one another, leading God to get revenge on them by writing and giving them the 10 Commandments. That didn't do anything but complicate things, causing God to return to his reality, where his son Jesus finds him coming back a shock. God says that he's done with the people of Earth, calling them jerks, and seeing his chance, Jesus takes his turn. Jesus heads down to Earth and grows among the people before leaving his family carpentry shop to his best friend and brother Shimon to begin his real job. Of course, this ended with him being crucified, which upon seeing it, God becomes very angered. Not that his son died, but that he only lasted 33 years while he was down there for a millennia. God becomes disappointed in his son, and thousands of years later, the hero Sunstar, wanderer of another world, fights some alien robots. Sunstar gets the attention of God, who demands his son watch the hero work. Sunstar meanwhile finishes up the aliens, meeting with his girlfriend Sheila as God tells Jesus Sunstar is awesome and he should be like him. Later on in Ken and Sheila's home, Sheila meets with the adoption agency agent, who recommends them a child should they need to adopt despite them being both unmarried. Not willing to wait until Sunstar gets there, the agent leaves, and later Ken returns, saying that he's been out looking for a missing plane all day, but he knows that they are dead because they couldn't find them. Sheila says that that's not true, but Ken knows better. He apologizes since he's frustrated and learns that the adoption meeting went awfully. Sheila begins to cry, saying she just wants a child and to have a family, and Ken says that's what he wants as well. In heaven, God does orientation for the new arriving souls. However, he learns that one soul couldn't be found housing since as it turns out he was meant to be sent to hell. God blames the angels, but then plays it off as a big prank, except it's not a prank, and God hopes the man realizes how much a mean prank can hurt. As he's taken away, God meets with Jesus, who isn't impressed with his father's idea of a joke and wonders if this is what he's been up to. Ken meanwhile is still talking about the plane and how he couldn't save it despite having the powers of a god. Talk turns to him marrying Sheila and how he can't even do that since he's an alien and it's not legally able to happen, and he can't even make her happy. Sheila says that that's not true, and while he can't make her happy all of the time, she wants some mystery in their life. Later that night, God visits them, and after a quick conversation about his son, God reveals he wants Jesus to live with Ken to learn something about being a real hero. Giving them his son and leaving, the two have no idea what has just happened. The next morning, Ken takes Jesus with him out on a raid of an illegal merchandise warehouse. Jesus wants to go and talk to them, but Sunstar has it all worked out, going inside and leaving Jesus outside with the man he knocked out with his boot. Sunstar gets to work, making short work of the bad guys, which begin piling up out front by Jesus. Sunstar soon finds the boss, but before he can question him, he kills himself with some pills. Returning to Jesus, the hero finds the Son of God healed all of the thugs and they ran off, and Jesus says he did it because they needed it. As they walk through the streets, Jesus spots a cross, wondering what it is, so Ken tells him that's how people worship him. Jesus is triggered by it and wonders why they make a big deal about him being crucified, since back in his time everyone was being crucified. Jesus says that when he came to Earth, he was raised as a human to understand their pain, which he did when he learned about what happened to his best friend Shimon, who took over his woodworking shop and was paid by the Romans to build crosses, causing everyone in town to shun him for being a Roman collaborator. Taking one of the crosses into town for them, Shimon is shocked to learn that the cross is meant for Jesus, who hugs him and says that everything was okay, taking the cross and carrying it. Jesus says that punishment doesn't bring salvation, and the world isn't saved by power or violence or bribery. It's saved by being brave enough to not be intimidated and being honest, and they are saved by one act of forgiveness at a time. Second Coming issue 1 was an absolutely hilarious first issue in Mark Russell's already controversial series. While being a fun sitcom-like premise, the book isn't afraid to tackle some more serious things and gets quite heartwarming, albeit a little sad there at the end with Jesus' story about his friend Shimon. It kind of caught me off guard since since I didn't really know what to expect from the comic DC cancelled. All in all, it was an utterly hilarious satire of a first issue that I'm sure most people will view with some rationality, while others will continue to write it off thanks to the themes and content of it without actually realizing what the content is. I'm going to give this issue a 9.5 out of 10.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching my newest video. If you enjoyed it, you might also like to check out my other reviews here on my channel. You can also follow me on various social media platforms like Twitter by searching Matt_FOS, or even join the Comic Multiverse Discord server and chat with other comic book fans, including myself and Joel from Cape Joel. Want cheap comics and trades? Head over to the book depository with the link in the description to get the cheapest trades and comics around, along with free shipping anywhere in the world. Until next time, this has been Matt of the Fortress of Solitude. Thank you so much for watching.